It's Joni. I found something very interesting. um, well, two things that come to my mind. One, they are saying that if you donate plasma, that can help remove forever chemicals from your body. And then at the same time, they are donating fetuses and foreskins and blood and everything else. They are working on this. The oldest I can find about this is 2017 at the moment, but I'm still looking. So this is just the beginning. And all intertwined now. So I don't know if this is what you were looking for, charming, but if it's not, I found something cool. So if this isn't what you were looking at as well. This article, I'll read this and I'm going to play something. Scientists claim human DNA is controllable using electricity. This is a big leap forward in activating insulin production and targeted genes through new development. A direct currency or a DC actuated regulation technology, or DART, can help treat diabetes. So here we see, stick with me, smart wearable technology in healthcare. Let's note that's what it says there. Like Fitbits and smartwatches like Apple Watch are designed to collect the user's data to track their health. If you really notice, you'll see you will see every third person walking down, 1 in 3 wearing some form of a smart device. While this is the 5G, my understanding with smart fabrics was that as we created these towers, so for example, this was the futuristic idea. This is not sci-fi. This is what the scientists tell me the purpose is so that I can wear my nice little jumpsuit like they saw on Star Trek. Remember, the nerds are taking over the school. And when I walk to work, because I'm within walking distance, when I walk to work, just my movements, just me eating, the little bits of energy that can be taken from the body that's basically wasted. So they say it's junk energy, as if they know what that energy is. I don't know. They can. So they say now, I'm not making this up. This does not come from science fiction. You can go look this up. They say they can suck it off of you when you walk by these towers. So the humans in that dome, basically like a little biodome, keep the lights on, grow the food. You are the bubble. You are the bubble boy, basically. They can get that combination just right. I'm just telling you what they're saying. Sounds insane. But it is why they're making smart fabrics. It is why the technology is there. That is what they are trying to do. Find that very interesting. So let's keep going from that. What does that have to do with my DNA? Bridging this lack of functional communication interface. Remember, God works on massive scales, or the devil, whatever, very patient. They've devised such an interface through which our DNA can be controlled via electrically. Isn't that interesting? The DART is the missing link. It's Lucy. DART is Lucy. I mean, come on. I've been calling it the Lucy juice from day one, so I should get some props for that. The researchers were able to show via an experiment that insulin production in human cells can be activated by sending electrical signals through an electrogenic interface called direct current, or DC, actuated regulation technology, DART, which the team has developed. And these electrical signals activated the targeted genes. DART requires very little power and overall energy to control target gene expression, and the control of DART requires only a simple manual electrical on and off switch. The studies find that harnessing electrical signals makes it possible to manipulate genes. This discovery can be applied soon in devices like smartwatches and can be used in the treatment of diabetes. Electrogenetic interfaces that would enable electronic devices to control gene expression remains the missing link in the pathway to full compatibility and interoperability of the electric and genetic worlds, said the researchers in the study. Refurbishing a previous study, in another study that was published in 2020 by this, I'm just going to point out that there's going to be so many studies coming out all of a sudden. Millions of them. A tsunami of biological studies. Why? Because ever since the flu came out, we have been like a bat, flocking and flying to have our blood drawn. Okay? That's what we're doing. It's kind of an inside out mirroring of reality where you being the bat and they being the vampire. And every time you come out, they take over your body for a minute, peek around, and then send you back to the cave with a tag in your ear. We've been giving it to them. And so now all of this goes in. You're not a name. There's no name maybe associated to these studies. These are basically just studies off of what's going on. All of that, report your, why do you think they made a website to report your side effects? Why would we have done that? Well, because we were going to have side effects, right? But all of a sudden, these side effects aren't being reported. And all over the world, everyone is learning that they've been hiding this, and we're learning about this website. Maybe that's what it means, like in the big, big beyond, where like in narcissistic, devil, demonic world, there's some truth in everything they're saying. They have to confess a little tiny something. Oh, they got to take the hit, the slap, but they still don't confess to everything. So you will see lots and lots and lots of studies coming out in the next, 2020 vision. We got everything. We can see it all now. Okay. So as I can say, they can just with a little electricity, with a little zit, I don't know, a little, they can match your exactly where target that cancer cell is. Bam! Ping, I got it. This is what they're working on. Why did they want everybody's babies that have cancer? Come on. They needed guinea pigs. I'm sorry that you don't like me, but I can't run the world and I can't take over things if you don't let me experiment on you. So I have to WikiHow how to control people, make you think it's your idea. And so now Scottish Rite, bring on your babies. All right. Scary how they tricked us all. Because again, this isn't a film and people really are getting hurt. That's the thing. And for what purpose? Well, stick with me and I'm going to tell you what purpose. In another study published in 2020 by the same group of researchers, the team established that the electrical stimuli could be used to regulate genes. The new design, however, simplified the initial design by implanting human pancreatic cells into mice with type 1 diabetes, and the researchers told Vice. The goals of both the 2020 and the 2023 studies were to return mice blood glucose levels to acceptable levels. And the researchers used electrically stimulating acupuncture needles which stimulated insulin release and restored this normal blood sugar level. The researchers claim that as the DART system does not need hours of high voltages, but only seconds at a very low voltage to actuate transgene expressions, it has higher energy efficiency and it's safer. So we know that. The study also notes that electronics-free direct battery-powered low-voltage DC control of therapeutic transgenes in human cells is a leap forward. It represented the missing link that will enable wearables to control genes in the not-so-distant future. In other words, if you have type 1 diabetes, you can wear a watch, and through that watch, it can control the gene of the insulin. That's what they're saying. It can just bring you back just by wearing the watch. How wonderful is that? Are you thinking too much? She's thinking too much. Yeah, and you just, oh, my blood sugar. That's why. I was low on vitamin C. And I started thinking, thanks for reminding me, watch, to eat an orange. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, I'm a science fiction writer. Don't take anything I'm saying as fact. This is the book I'm writing. That's how I'm going to start. Maybe that'll keep me out of the algorithms. I'm making this stuff up. This is the story I'm writing. And I'm like Tolkien. I'm really detailed. The researchers claimed that as the DART system does not need hours. Oh, I said that, didn't I? I said that. All right. Not so distant future. So study the abstract. Wearable electronic devices are playing a rapidly expanding role in the acquisition of individuals' health data for personalized medical interventions. However, wearables cannot yet directly program the gene-based therapies because of the lack of direct electrogenic interface. Oh no, we have a problem, Houston. Not yet. Just give me another year. Jesus Christ, you guys are so impatient. Okay, told you. I told you. Give me time. I got this. Don't get so crazy. One step in front of the other. Remember that. Here, we provide the missing link to developing an electrogenetic interface that we call direct current DC activated regulation technology, or DART, which enables electrode mediated time and voltage dependent transgene expression in human cells using DC from batteries. DART utilizes a DC supply to generate non-toxic levels of reactive oxygen species that act via a biosensor to reversibly fine-tune synthetic promoters. In a proof of concept study in a type 1 diabetic male mouse model, right? What year? In 1842. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's probably not that long ago. Maybe the 80s, though. I might think you were doing that shit in the 80s during the AIDS epidemic. I'm pretty sure. Maybe you were calling it something else, but I know it was in there. A once a daily transdermal stimulation of subcutaneously implant. Why was World War II? Why was World War II? We had a whole bunch of lab rats free of charge. We had to have a few wars for a few years. Come on. It's my idea. You didn't think I was just going to stop there. Oh, no, I threw in some Vietnams and some Viet Cons and some fiat currency and maybe some cars. I don't know. I have to really get what I'm looking for. I'm looking for all kinds. I'm hiring, and I needed doctors, and I needed lawyers, and I needed scientists. I needed answers. Things had to be done. Things had to be done. I'm sorry you don't like it, but it is what it is. All right, get out of me, devil. Don't talk like that. We're just humans. Why do you hate us so much? I don't hate you. I'm God. That's what I do. 1 + 1 = 2. You're the one that decides whether or not it's good or bad. What's the ultimate purpose here? Let's think about that one. To live forever. So come on. I'm getting there. Anyway, that sounds very nefarious. So I'm going to go over to one more. Yeah, here. Is it here? Where is it? Oh, man. Oh, no. Yes, it's here. Hang on. I have to go to another tab. Yeah. And share this tab instead. I just found this feature. I'm very disappointed in myself that it's taken me so long, but let me zoom in. This is a video in 1 minute. In 1 minute, has 101 subs. Look at that. I was the 101th sub or thumbs up. This is from 5 years ago. Science in 1 minute. What are genetic switches? And they're going to tell you in just a minute exactly how easy it is to do what that paper just told me they could do. So here you go.
What are genetic switches? Our DNA determines our appearance and the functions of every tissue and even every cell. In the human body, there are about 30,000 genes with information that makes us function, although not all of these genes are on. In the pancreas, for example, the genes that regulate the secretion of insulin are on, while others are off or out of order. The activity of these genes is related to the chemical marks associated with DNA and the proteins that compact it. These are known as epigenetic marks. These marks have the power to turn genes on or off, as if they were a switch, and they make the genes more or less accessible to the molecular machinery that regulates their expression. Whether genes are on or off depends on factors such as environment, diet, and predisposition to certain diseases. Knowing which epigenetic markers are responsible for turning genes on and off in each tissue, and which external stimuli generate them and why, may allow aging to be slowed down and the mutations that cause cancer to be predicted.
Aging to be slowed down was the first one that came out of the mouth. Aging slowed down. These switches can be used for 2 purposes. They gave us 2 purposes: slow down aging and turn off cancers, prevent cancers. A lot of alchemy going on in the world. On me, for fuck's sakes. On my wee one. And my friends, on you. And on those who are our foes. This science fiction film is just getting more interesting by the moment. Do you know what I feel like right now? I know what character I am. I'm the character that's like in the office. You're keeping watch outside the door, right? And I'm in there on my little keyboard. I got it. My little thumb drive is in there. I'm downloaded now. Coming straight to you. I got it. Quick. Ring. Pick up the phone, you know? That's what this world is. It's a freaking film. This is my story. I'm changing all of my information now. Going completely, this has just opened so many. This isn't real what I am sharing. I'm going to make it as a disclaimer at the bottom now. This is a world of Joni's rotten imagination. Maybe that's going to be my next channel. Okay. So watch for that soon. I'll have another one. That's what I'm going to do there. I'm just going to share it in story form. And then, what can you say now? That is what we've been doing anyway. Well, to live forever, to want to hide out in their underground bunkers for a while, these elites coming out suddenly, claiming they're just now starting. Oh, you just now got the memo. Is that so? You haven't heard through the grapevine yet that there's a worm coming, a wormhole, a worm wall, wormwood, I don't know, some kind of apocalyptic event, mini ice age, the global warming. You didn't hear about global warming? I thought you donated to that cause. How do you not know? So, I better get on it, Zuckerberg says. Fuck off. Do you know what that is? Let me just tell you a little key there. That's them. They're gone. That's poof. That's the smoke when the smoke clears, when the demolition clears, right? He was gone the minute he threw this. He didn't wait halfway in the smoke. He took off. So where you think you're seeing him, he's not there. And that's where past, present, future all reside. If you like multiple dimensions at once or living all at the same. What you're seeing is the past. This research is the past being presented to me as the future during the present. Do you see what I'm saying? And there's some other interesting things here while I'm at it. I'll just keep going for a minute. Well, let me do this first. Oh yeah, no, I can. All right. I did find some other very interesting things down this line here. And I have discussed before how switches, can be turned on and off, basically. But I've been referring to it in the way of behaviors. So milestones being a switch. And if you don't reach a certain milestone, that switch may never get turned back on for you. This is what ultimately ends up with you having these physical expressions of those past events where switches were turned on and off for you in places that these scientists aren't telling you they're looking, which they are, because that's all the studies I've been bringing here within the last year. A lot more of showing you how they're determining what traumas can you experience as a child, from a move to a broken leg, and what outcomes that has for you in the future. So, and where in the genetic, in the gene, in the DNA, does that lie? So they're on the outside and on the inside. So we already know they're really big on the switches at the moment, which makes sense as we're switching or transitioning into a new species, and I believe also a new developmental stage on the cosmic highway, and the meaning of life theory, and in a generational cycle as well, and in a cosmic ring. There's also that ring. There's a lot of rings lining up. Age of Aquarius, the Shemitah that group looks at, Armageddon that the Christians look at, global warming for all of the businessmen. They're all lining up. You notice there's some kind of weird alignment happening. And do I think it's the end? No, of course not. We still have a lot of living left to do. right? We're only teenagers. We're just now wanting to eat each other's faces off again. So let's look here. I'll make this big or bigger. How many articles? So this is just, scientists create on-off switch to DNA. And I got it from this Daily Beast article. I didn't get it from there. What I got was another channel that I watch that I'll share with you. I didn't have any problems sharing who I get ideas from. That's why I watch the channels, because they have off things or weird things they throw up for just 2 seconds in the middle of talking about, aliens or something. And, I go, wait a minute, I know something about that. So, but he doesn't talk about aliens. It was this article from the Daily Beast, but let's just look, because it doesn't take long before you see MIT on it, physics is on it, interesting engineering, which is the channel I'm going to share, genetic engineering and biotechnological news. These would be periodicals for scientists if they were in a library. You wouldn't even go near this section. You'd be looking at people and, that kind of stuff, maybe some National Geographic, but you probably aren't reading the periodicals in these areas. And I worked at the library when I was in college, and I happen to know for a fact that all these different things have their own small little periodicals, right? In fact, my ex was over the periodicals department in college, same library. So I know these things. I know them. And that's part of it. We don't read these things. We look at them and go, boring. You know what I mean? Here, the University of Washington has gotten involved. We got medical design and outsourcing, science advisory board. They throw out the CRISPR right there. We know that name. How do we know CRISPR? What do we know CRISPR is famous for? Even look at the things it gives me to check out epigenetics. The CRISPR is off. The add gene. It's seeping out. Frontiers of Young Mind. Ooh, PBS is in. Science Tech. Eureka Alert. Forbes has a lot to say. Look at that. We're going to talk about one of these things as well. Wow, that looks interesting. I have to pull that over. I didn't go all the way down. Or how they're hacking here in the Nature Journal. That's real pleasant. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Then they call it the kill switch can make the human gene editing safer. Those are 2 words that don't belong in the same sentence, especially with the human gene in there as well. These should never be. That's why it's science fiction. You don't have to like my book. You just can't help yourself. You want to keep reading it. All right, so here is that. This was published in Nature. Look at this. This is, oh no, not that one. We were reading that one. Hang on, it's this one. Sorry, wrong tab. I got all excited for nothing. Let me find it. Oh, well, you couldn't see my excitement anyway. So I have to change the tab. Okay. Oh, yeah, I want to keep that highlighted because that's where our adventure is going to begin. Let me just go up to the top here and share this tab. Excuse me. And I want to make that much bigger. This comes to us, the National Library of Medicine, the National Center for Biotechnology Information. We get a lot of their papers. We read a lot of their work. I'm a fan. This is the electronic control of gene expression and cell behavior in, some kind of coli through redox signaling. Okay. basically, that is what it does. That is what it says. Okay, it's a lot. It just tells you the process. You can go look up. I just gave you the title. You can go look up the study if you want to read it in all of its glory. But I'm not going to do that. With this, you see all their little pictures here, though. Diagrams for those of us. There was a joke a comedian did about we had these I don't know if we still do. We had these restaurants that were like pancake houses, or these, and on the menu they would still hand you a menu, but they're really, it might have words, but it had a picture of what it looked like, right? And they were open 24 hours a day, and the joke was, you just point, whatever condition you're in, at 1 a.m. and you show up, you just point at a picture. What that? That's what that is. That's a picture of pancakes and bacon. That's a Grand Slam breakfast right there, is what that is, for those of you that know. For my friends in other places, the Grand Slam is the name of a breakfast from, I believe, Denny's, which is exactly one of those pancake. But we had a few of them. The Waffle House also comes to mind. I like the Waffle House. We called it the Awful Waffle when we were young because it's funny to make fun of people's names. The Publix was Publix, and the Krogers were Krogers, because that's a developmental stage that children go through. So I was only following through with the exact stage that I was in, where you start, what jokes did you used to sing? Aunt Jana, Bobana, that kind of stuff, right? Normal. And in business, that's one of the things that they do. That a really good person or advertising agency can make sure that your name doesn't spell Penis Island in the .com. Oh, let's keep going. More diagrams. And basically, it just tells you kind of like what that 1-minute video says. So I want to go down to way down here where I kept it highlighted to some other interesting things. So we're going to connect a couple dots. Like I said, I'm not going to explain all of this. We're just going to go to the end where it says sign at the line. Sign here. Do you really want to read all that? Just sign here. I did never see it. Did it click off? Oh, for crying out loud. Is that the end? That is. Okay, well, somewhere around here towards the end. Darn it. Yeah, it's got, so this part, I do remember this part. I think, instruction of, it tells you all of its different processes, the cloning procedures, the electrochemical reduction measure, the iodine staining. It tells you all the sciencey stuff. Cell preparation for Western blotting, even the way they title these things. Anyway, somewhere in here, it tells me who the data in this study available upon the, blah, 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 blah. No, it's not that one. Who is cited? Is that? Yeah, here it is. We would, can you see this? Yes. We would like to acknowledge funding provided for this work by the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, or DART, for those of you that are playing along. I want to turn all these letters around now. Anyway, that's not all. So, and the National Science Foundation, thank God. And this fellowship, which I didn't like the word fellowship, so that's where I went. So I'll show you what that is. and some doctor. This is also a doctor. I looked her up. T-shirt heart. I don't know what the fuck her name is, but if you're really good at, I'm not good at that word scramble. I have to think about it real hard. I'm not quick, but I have friends that are so quick, like with numbers too. Like they can add all that shit up in like 10 seconds, but I'm not that gifted. But the words were funny. So anyway, let me move on to this. So what is that? What are these things? I'm going to show you. Oh yeah, this is a fun one. Okay. Share this tab instead. Okay, here's our award winner. The U.S. National Science Foundation gave oh, come on, you don't want to zoom in for me now. They gave an award. Look at this. An official website of the United States government. Here's how you know, because this banner's up here. How would I know? Oh, here's how I know. Let me click on that. Oh, look, it says because this banner is here. Like I couldn't just copy that. Okay. I'm sure it's way more complicated than that. But if I was thinking like a kid, there would be half the kids, all the kids I knew would go, oh, look, here's how I know that this book was written by this person, because they said, I wrote the book. It says author. And because it says author, I know that that's the person that wrote the book. I went to a school and I go, well, how do I know that that person is the name of the person? And then you find out that they questioned Shakespeare and you go, see, see, I wasn't wrong asking these questions. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. Anyway, they won an award. I know I got off for a minute. If you want to go look up more awards, you're more than welcome to. They've got special conditions for them, maybe a partnership. I don't know. And a cooperative agreement. Anyway, it was, so let's talk about it. A switch, an award abstract. They got an award. They got the scholarship. A switch for synthetic biology based on feature density. And here's the origin. It was from the Division of Chemical Bioengineering, Environment and Transportation Systems. Yeah, probably. From CBET. You might know who they are. It was at the University of Maryland in College Park. Maybe we should go check out what the University of Maryland. Has anybody ever even heard of this university outside people that are, I mean, did you know they were into such advanced things? Holy shit balls. Wow. And in 2012 even. I mean, that's a very long time. It's a standard grant. Here's its numbers. For those of you that like numbers and dates, I'll leave it. It's 116305. That's its award number. Here are the program managers. Some Raji Mutharasan at CBET, Division of Chemical, Engineering, Directorate for Engineering. It's in the engineering department of the CBET. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what that is. Turning on and off switching is engineering the genome. Just like a train I think I can. Well, we think you can too. So we've gave you $327,592 to see if you can do it. And this guy is the history of the investigator. You can email him, and or you can call the college yourself. There's some more numbers. I'll just in case I have a friend who finds that stuff interesting. There it is. Okay. So I go to the next tab. Well, Ta-da! Yay! All those years, 2012. Okay, so what? Okay. So one of those, oh, I have to do this. Okay, yeah. So remember, one of these research persons was this here. Okay, this here. Okay, so I looked that up. And that is right here. That means this, see, NSF Fellowship. That is according to the National Science Foundation. This is East Asia and Pacific Summer Institutes for U.S. graduates. Do you want to pursue studies in fields of science and engineering, research, and education supported by the National Science Foundation? Join the East Asia and Pacific Summer Institutes for U.S. graduates. Each awardee will receive an NSF stipend of $5,000 that is intended as compensation, in part for the loss of summer employment. Why is this group that's do you see that? And this group to this person, she's involved here. Do you see what I'm trying to say? There's a lot of people involved here that we have no, why is that? She got $5,000 and it's so important to put, there's something bigger afoot is what I'm saying. That seems like a very small, it sounds like a grant. You know, why is that? Why is the name of that being added to this particular woman's profiles? What seems, if I was Monk, remember the show Monk? Or I remember the show Psych. I liked that one. If you never watched that, see that show, television series, that's what I was looking for, of Psych. It's great if you're a Gen Xer and you like Tears for Fears. And it was beautiful. It was perfect for me. It had everything from pineapples to psychic abilities to, it had it all. I loved that show because I could relate there. It's like you can see, you're not psychic, you're just seeing things. You just, my eyes. I have something called peripheral vision. It's my superpower, if you will. And I think to myself, why do you want me to know that? Is this, seems out of place. Seems out of place in the room is all. Don't know what that means. Don't even have an answer for what that means, but it seems out of place. So I'm just noting it. I'm putting it in my notebook. It might be nothing when I get back to the station. But here, while I'm standing here looking at this crime scene, that shard of glass looks interesting. Seems out of place. Here's the what is DART, or Defense Threat Reduction Agency? The other thing that they mentioned. Well, here's that. It's a government agency. Why is it involved? Why is it involved in genes being if it's about cancer? Why is the defense? Why is another DART there? Just asking. Seems out of place. But it says the Defense Threat Reduction Agency is both a defense agency and a combat support agency within the United States Department of Defense for countering weapons of mass destruction and supporting the nuclear enterprise. What does that have to do with this? We would like to acknowledge funding provided for this work by. What? That is strange. That seems out of place. Do you not agree? Let's look at their website real quick. They're in the, right out. I don't know what's going on in this picture. I mean, what's with the black? What that? Don't do that. You're mean. Get the 3. I mean, look at what. Oh, my crest. Look at those images. Science. Ooh, frequency. It's like I'm watching it. Yes. Fuck yes. Look at that. Right across from the A. We work together. Holy fuck, that was fun. Our mission to their mission is strategic attacks against the United States and its allies. To deter. Oh, wait. Oops. I read that wrong. That reminds me when I was a kid, there was a sign on collection boxes that said where you could donate things, and it would have a sign, and the sign read, "Help blind kids." But it didn't have any punctuation in it. It just said help. And then on the line underneath, it said blind kids. And I was very young, and I thought about that. Well, I was right at the time. I would have been probably about 6 because I was an early reader. So maybe even 5. I don't know. According to my parents, I was reading really early, but I was understanding punctuation at the time. And I thought, wait a minute. I said, Dad, does that mean that we're helping blind kids, or does that mean that we're helping to blind kids? And my dad looked at me and I don't know. Very good question. And that's the mind of a kid. That's what I see there. Wait a minute. Our mission is strategic attacks against the United States and its allies. What does the United States stand for? And its allies. If I read it and I didn't notice over here in the peripheral, back here in the corner, deter. It's off kilter. No. And their other mission is to prevent, reduce, and counter WMD, the World Medical Doctor and Emerging Threats. What is the WMD? I don't know. Anyway, this all looks the same to me. Look at their DARPA wheel. Look at the back. Oh, it spins. Oh, look at their website is fun. Oh, look. Woo, their museum has interactive toys. Oh, it's like going to the science museum. Oop. Pac-Man. Math man. Press center. Do I want to press the small business? Fun. What happens when I go over the globe Earth? I got a rainbow wheel of death. There it is. What if I go over the foreign malign influence? Oh, it flips completely upside down. Bloop. But that axis stays there. That's very pretty. Oh, yeah. That's fun. Press center. Those people that can't not press something. Don't press it. Don't press it. I want to press the center. Can't help it. Anyway, next phase of, look at that. Ooh. The next phase of national training organized by the U.S. Defense Threat Reduction Agency, hosted by the State Security Service, has been successfully completed, everybody. Georgian subdivisions participating in the training earned the highest rating from American experts. I got to go to one of of the bases for a tour once in high school when they're trying to get you, when they're looking at, when they know which kids they want in the Army and in the Air Force and Marines. Right there, you're trying to figure out where you're going to go. I almost went into the Air Force. I was on the bus. At least I had a ticket for it. I had a ticket for the bus, and at the last minute, something deep inside me says, don't get on the bus. And I didn't. And so there you go. What else have they done? They've won a 30-year Ministry of Health of Ukraine strengthens commitment to transparency and health security. Woohoo! Solidifying their shared dedication to enhancing transparency and health security during what was going on in the, wow, the Ukraine strikes again. Look at this. I don't want, look at that. This is straight out of a film. You got to be kidding me. 685. Look at this. Straight out of a film. I'm in a film. We're all in a film. There's more of their spark. It's now on your wearable device. And I got 2 gold coins. The atomic. I won the Atomic Veterans Commemorative Service Medal. The Secretary of Defense established the Atomic Veterans Commemorative Service Medal to commemorate the service. A service medal, a commemorative service medal to commemorate the service of sacrifice of veterans instrumental in the development of our nation's atomic and nuclear weapons program. Holy fuck, that made me think of something. Shit! I hate when this happens. I'm kidding. That's the opposite. I love when this happens. So if you know the meaning of life theory, then do you remember in school, right here, double digits? Remember, I believe we're in double digits. This is our rite of passage. This is a coming of age moment. It's a second coming of age moment. The second coming. It's a jacking off. We're teenagers. We're adolescents. We're double digits. We are not 9 anymore. We're 10. And then everyone's 10 to maybe 16 at the moment. Okay. This sentence here, when I was in double digits, I'm writing a lot of, but all of my double digits there, which is the one in front. I was writing a lot of book reports, college papers, all of that. And you had to get so many words in. And do you remember you were a little kid and you put like, I really like flying a kite, and your teacher goes, you can't use, I need a 10-word sentence or over 10 words, however many words they'd say, over 6-word sentence, whatever. I need a paragraph with this many sentences and this many words, and you cannot repeat the same word twice. No, you can't repeat the same adjective again. And you're learning to write, you want to read and go back and edit that you don't have a reoccurring pattern of description. So you're not always calling everything beautiful. It was a beautiful morning and the trees were beautiful. My wife was beautiful and my daughter was beautiful. And my first smoke of the day was beautiful. You want to be really careful that you don't do that. And this is what this is making me think of, because this is how you pull that off. Everybody knows that the teacher tells you to repeat the question in the first sentence. What did you do this summer at camp? Well, you can't just start going, I went to the zoo, I took a canoe ride. Nobody's going to know what the fuck you're talking about. So you have to repeat it. You have to say, this summer while at camp, Or you can say, when I was at camp, this is what I did. Or you can say, on July 4th, I began camp. You can have all different ways, but you have to have some type of way. And you can use that as a weapon against your teacher. And this is what this sounds like to me. It has a lot of it doesn't describe fuck all, and yet has a lot of words in it. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. I need an over 30 word sentence. The Secretary of Defense established the Atomic Veterans Commemorative Service Medal to commemorate the service and sacrifice of veterans instrumental in the development of our nation's atomic and nuclear weapons program. I repeated what I was told and just fulfilled a word requirement for my story. That's beautiful because it sounds real mouthy, doesn't it? And that is legalese. That's kind of, if I was teaching it to kindergartners, this is how I would teach it. You have to make it sound like it's saying something, even though it's saying nothing. You see what I mean? Brilliant. Very childhood thing to do. It connects to how our behavior is. I found look at this little picture here. Interesting that I have a tattoo that I saw in it. I guess a vision. I don't know if you could call it that, but it just came to me. It's got my own symbols in it. This is very interesting. What would you call that? Maybe like these are your siggy. So what is it? Sigil. Your signature, your sigil. My name in it. Drawings. I got the crest, the 3 arrows, dart. I don't miss. 1, 2, 3. Ugh. You're feeling low in vitamin D today, Joni. I think you want to go for a stroll. Hey, I think I want to go for a stroll. This is voice to skull technology. I've actually read from military documents that claim that another guy could have a thought and the other guy will think it. Wake up, and the guy wakes up. Look around the corner or something like that. He doesn't have to send it to him through a walkie-talkie. Hey, wake up, you lazy bum. You're getting lazy. He doesn't have to make a noise or let his enemies know that he's got a man there. He can just make the guy think it. And they love it. That's beautiful. What? I could do that. Of course you can do that, sir. I can do that, sir. Do that, Steve. I want sharks with lasers on their forehead. And Steve goes, excuse me, sir. I can do that. Technologically speaking. With sharks? Not with sharks. With people. What did you just say? Give him a corner office with a view. I want to see, and it's $5,000 and $395,000, and I want to see what he can do. I want to see if this fucker can really do that. Can you do that? Yes, you're on. I am investing in you. Sign your X on the line. FXing you box. They're fucking playing in your envelope, which is your genetic envelope. They're opening Your human male. Look at that. That's symbols right there in this order. This is called hieroglyphs of the 21st century. This says they're fucking you. They're fucking you in the box. There's hope in the box. There's hope in the box, though. I want to know. There's hope in the box. Anyway, I find all of these tabs extremely scary. I don't know about you, but those are all very scary tabs. I think that's about it for. If you want to learn more about this, again, just do what I did and type in, can you turn on and off your gene switches? And we've learned that they already can to cause me fibromyalgia. They can turn on or off, not they, just the universe, if that's fine. I'm okay with that. We don't have to assume there's a bad guy. I get not everybody's on board there, but random chaos, if that's what you like. The luck of the draw. This event creates this reaction inside the body, and you have the hives. I found interesting, and this is just a side note in case he's listening, talking about I'm a Dharma wheel. This I identify with, again, things that make up who you are, things that came to you earlier in your life that suddenly you have no idea why they're there, and they're there. The witch's wheel, or witches often being looked at on their bodies for signs of witchcraft. And I did a little digging because there are funguses or bacteria or, outside elements, toxoplasmosa, ringworms, these types of rashes that interact with the body system, and they are linked to the EBV, the HIV, the herpes simplex viruses. These are things linked in those categories of what we like to explore in the world of science. Loosey juicy stuff. And if you are there, so let's just, for this argument, it could be anything. It could have been a type of plant they used, that they might have some type of hive or something that lives naturally just on them. It's not even hurting them, but maybe it gives them this ring-like rash on their bodies, and we would know that they dabbled in that herb. I'm just saying. Now, whether or not that was an intent, but it could have been a side effect of something that they were often in contact with, including poison ivy and oak and things, especially. This is where I think these folklores come from. I'm trying to put a scientific explanation to a myth, that we can allow that myth now to live for the story that it's trying to tell me, right? It allows me that ability to step inside that story and go, I know where that idea came from, and it makes sense that it came from there. So some modern examples, people that have cats, have crazy cat lady stuff. You've got, ringworm from cats. I believe that's one. We do have poison ivy and poison oak. The hives, oftentimes it could be any and all of these things. I'm saying I don't know which one. It may not have been any of these particular plants or organisms. I believe it was probably something we don't have access to now. So it was probably something that was that direct with a plant. Just saying. There's a mushroom you can eat, and it won't kill you, but if you eat it and then drink a beer, you will die because of the chemical reaction that happens within the body when these two things are brought together. So there's a lot of things that could go and happen, that can happen in nature. And so I think of that. What if there was some type of mark on them, in a way, Mother Nature's way, even something that was part of the lifestyle itself and could easily have been used as a weapon to murder people, right? And now 300 years later or 3,000 years later, some class scientist has this thought that I'm having today, does some research, and goes, holy crap, and gets a Nobel Peace Prize or something for solving not Peace Prize, that's a bad prize, gets some kind of, award at their thing for solving the mystery of the witches and the golden rashes. I don't know, their scarlet ring. It's fun to think about. I'm just saying, there is a way that every one of our fairy tales can be set in a realistic setting. There is a way to accomplish that. We just have to think in terms of behaviors and what we know now and what we know then and how we think now and how we think then. I have to go back to my childhood and look at things from the perspective of a child that would have been viewing the world at that time. And now, see, I picked up a herbologist book or whatever, and I'm reading about fungi and I'm learning about the tree systems in a different way than I did when I was younger. And now it leads me to what biological outcomes are expressed on the body when we come in contact with these things. Even so much as scratches possibly on the ankles or wrists as you're reaching in to grab berries. Now you think, what other folklores have these types of stories in them? What could that really mean? There's a logical explanation. I really like those thoughts. I think that's about it for me. I went about an hour. I think I've been very clear about how I think my science fiction story should be going. I think that this puts our characters in, kind of a precarious position, because now the characters, well, they gotta start making choices, because something about, I don't agree. I don't want my character to agree to the sky. I think it's important for the characters to come out and say, I don't agree with that. This is my ball field too. And I don't want you building your clubhouse on our ball field. I don't want you flying your, drone remote control airplanes, or you're throwing your plastic parachute mans out of the trees while I'm playing. And that's exactly what spraying the skies feels like to me, or shooting up rockets. It feels just like those kids, and I'm playing and they're over there fucking up my playground. I didn't agree to that. I do not want you. I don't even care if you say it is safe. I don't give a flying fuck how many papers you bring me, how many documents you say. I don't care. I don't care. I do not want you doing it. You know why I don't want you doing it? If you'd have come to me first and you'd come with this information and you'd asked everyone's permission, I might have been more interested in even hearing what you had to say, although I would have wanted to wait a lot longer, right? I wouldn't have agreed, is what I'm saying. But they can't. They need to get you fresh out of the womb before you have a chance to understand, like police interrogating you while you're still banged over the head or drunk, right? Where you're off, why they want to grab you when you're in an agitated state of some sort. They want to walk into your house or your office. They do that on purpose. They can get you getting in your car. Nah. They need you in an agitated state. It makes you soupier. That's why in the movies, they're beat them up before they get what they want. You have to get your victims in an agitated, frazzled state so that you can get them to agree to whatever it is that you want them to sign. And that's what we've got going on. Everyone is in a frazzled state in this story, and they're about to sell you safety and protection and comfort and Jesus stuff. And I'm not saying that that's all not there. I don't, maybe that is Jesus. Maybe going into the light and signing up and marching in the undergrounds. I'm just saying it's underground. I mean, that sounds like a little mirror flip to me, but it's not a Jacob's ladder. But then you could say, but if I'm down there, it is a Jacob's ladder. Okay, whatever. I'm just saying, are you ascending or descending? Maybe you're doing both at the same time. I mean, this is what I mean. This is an overprotected, underprotected generational cycle happening at the same time where no one is watching anything. No one's paying attention. Or, you know, we don't. We just stop playing. We just stop going out. I don't know, because that's the other thing they want. Oh, fine. You don't. I heard him tell me that if I don't want to wear a mask, I can't come to the hospital when I'm sick. Fair. All right. You're a dick. You're a dick. And that's why I don't want to wear your mask. I'd rather fucking starve myself to death. I'd rather walk off a goddamn cliff. I'd rather slit my throats in a tub. I'd rather do anything except go with you. That is the loathing I have for that character. And I think that's the rebellion that's in us, some of us. That's the point. That's a narcissistic freedom is what that is. That, you know what? Fine. I'll walk home. You're going to get hurt. Don't care. Dark out there. Don't give a fuck. Don't care. I got the moonlight and the wolves. They're going to watch me. They keep the tree line in my perspective in the dark. Jesus Christ. Do you think I'm scared now? The whole thought of spending the rest of my life with you was scarier than anything that the dark could bring me. So let me out of the car. This is the idea in victim protection hood, is where you don't let them take you to location B. Get out of the car. So that's where I'm at with that. They don't ask my permission. They just ask for my forgiveness. That sounds a lot like Munchausen by proxy as well, where they're going to make me sick to make me better. They love the awards. They love the attention. Thank you, doctor. Thank you for saving me. It was God who rode my hands. I'm not saying that about all doctors. Sure, I've had my share of doctors that I've found quite pleasant. But overall, they become into there. That's few and far between. And typically, they're pediatric doctors. You know, they work with children. So part of their disposition is, but not all of them, as some of us may know. But it's you kind of have to be. The mean ones work with the veterans, as I've also witnessed. I've seen a lot of things in this film so far. Or maybe I've dreamed a lot of scenes. Maybe that's how I need to think of it. I've dreamed a lot of little scenes. I've read a lot of little notes. I've read a lot of books. I've done a lot of research for this story. I know the language these characters speak. And I'm the one writing the bad guy's character. And that's why I can channel the bad guys sometimes. Don't be mad at me. I'm only the messenger. Anyway, that's enough Muppet talk for an hour. The third time I've said goodbye. which is itself a very childhood thing to do.